With some empty shelves in Canadian grocery stores and people staying home to practice physical distancing, Canada's food banks are feeling the pinch on both sides, with concerns about a shortage of supplies, of course, and also volunteers. Now, Canada's food banks are putting out a call for help. Joining us now is Neil Hetherington with the Daily Bread Food Bank. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Good morning, Lindsey.
What would you say is the biggest issue facing the food bank right now?
Well, there are several issues, quite frankly. First, from a distribution perspective, we are dependent on volunteers across the city to be able to distribute food. And if some of those volunteers feel concerned about, as I should, about interactions and not being able to have social distancing the way that they normally would, they're making a decision to close down some of those food banks. So we have a distribution challenge. We also have a funding challenge. There are a number of, while our food supply declines, we are going to need to purchase more and more food versus it typically coming in from the public. And so, that calls into play a cash crunch.
The food bank has a 6-stage pandemic plan, I understand. Stage 3 was declared last week. So where is the food bank right now, and what does that really mean?
So what we have done is moved into a plan where 50% of the labor force inside the 191 New Toronto Street office is located, are now coming in. So we're on teams, Team A and Team B, and working 6 days a week. We've had to reduce the number of volunteers and focused on our core services, and those core services being food coming in, getting processed, and sending it out to the agencies all across the city.
So when we look at, the grocery store shelves, we're seeing a lot of product just not there. When you look at your shelves, how many days worth of food is left at the food bank?
We currently have 15 days worth of food. And, bringing it on to an issue of who is making use of food banks across the city, on average, a typical food bank user has about $7.83 a day to live on after paying for rent. So the option for them to go to the store and stockpile food is simply not there. And so we are making an appeal for individuals to make a cash contribution. We are making an appeal for food, more so than at any other time. And quite frankly, we've been heartened and uplifted by some of the stories of individuals making those contributions. Yesterday, I had a wonderful email from an individual where an 11-year-old had gone door to door. His name is Carter Carpenter. And Carter went door to door in his neighborhood to make sure that food was picked up so that those experiencing poverty were able to get it. And he dropped it off at a local fire hall.
Neil, and those are the stories that, are just so great. And the humanity that we're hearing about and those acts of kindness are just so important at a time like this. How can viewers help? If somebody's watching right now and going, okay, well, what should I do? What's your advice?
They can make a donation through Food Banks Canada and the $150 million campaign that is currently underway. They can make a donation to the Daily Bread Food Bank locally in the Toronto area. They can drop off food. It will get to somebody experiencing poverty. They can send food via Amazon on their couch right now and send it to our 191 New Toronto location. And that way you have no concern whatsoever, but you're part of something fundamentally good, and that is desperately needed at this time.
Neil Hetherington, we appreciate your time this morning. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Lindsey.
Thanks for watching. If you like this, be sure to subscribe here.
And you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.